So Amazon Q4, how to kill it with sponsored product without killing your profit. I'm not gonna talk only about sponsored product per se, but I'm gonna talk about how to optimize sponsored product and how to leverage the knowledge and intelligence that Amazon give you through sponsored product in order to better your listing and overall not just sell more on PPC, but also sell more organically. So what to expect? What to expect out of Q4? I've done, this will be like, look, 2014, 15, 16, 17, this will be my 5th Q4. And over the years, I've noticed that you get a spike in sales, major spike in sales between 15 November to the 31st of December. And an increase in traffic from the 1st of November on, because people start to be ready to buy, start to look up for presents, start to be ready for Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and festivities like this. I've experienced throughout this period an increase in conversion rate, overall conversion rate, because people, in what I think is, buyers are more ready to buy because they're looking for stuff they want to buy themselves as a present at the end of the year, they've been struggling all year, as well as to buy to their loved ones. So the conversion rate improves, and as well as in my experience, slightly also the click-through rate will improve throughout this period. And since people are less egoistic and people are looking to buy presents, they are looking to make a good impression to whoever they want to present stuff to. So again, in my experience, based on the data we collected on my brand, they are also less sensible to high pricing. So it's a period of a year you can get away with slightly higher pricing, a better profit, because people are just more happy to buy. Something you need to know, but it probably has been covered and will be covered from other speakers with this summit, is the important dates. The cutout, a very important date is the inventory cutout date. So the latest date in which you can send inventory to Amazon to be sold throughout Q4, and is generally mid to the end of November. You need to know Thanksgiving is 22nd November, Black Friday 23rd of November, Cyber Monday 26th November, Christmas cutout date, which is of course Christmas is 24th and 25th. As far as the Christmas cutout date, what I mean is the last date a buyer can order from Amazon Prime in order to get it delivered before Christmas. All right, so that is the 21st of December. 21st of December, 19th to the 21st of December, you will see the last huge spike before everything dies out after Christmas, because everybody needs to make the famous last minute presents. So 19th to 21st is that time. And how to plan for Q4. So if you have already been through a Q4 on Amazon, you most probably know your data. You can go back in time and see how much you grew your business, how much you grew your volume, how much you grew your profit margins, and base your planning for this year based on the previous years. If you haven't, I would say that a good rule of thumb will be to allow for 3 weeks an average month for November and December. So whatever you've been doing on average for whenever you started selling, you average it out and you multiply by 3. And that's, in my opinion, is a good rule of thumb number to understand how to plan your inventory and how much stuff to order from your supplier, how much stuff to ship to Amazon to be ready to be sold. And again, make sure it's received before the cutout date. And now let's talk about preparation. So what I've been doing and what I'm still doing, and how to properly prepare your PPC structure, your PPC campaign structure, in order to be ready, not just to take over Q4, but to have a solid and healthy setup, which is easier to manage. In my opinion, a good structure is composed by 3 or 4 campaigns. What I would advise you to do is, depending on your budget, is either create a setup which has 3 campaigns, an exact campaign, a broad campaign, and an auto campaign. This set, in my opinion, should be done by product. So each product, and I will discuss later about product and SKUs. So each product should have at least 3 campaigns. an auto campaign that will fish for longer tail keywords, a broad campaign that will also fish for long tail keywords, and an exact campaign when you take all the fishing you do between the broad and the auto and you add everything to be exact to nail the bids and improve your positioning while adjusting and bettering your performance. So this setup is what I advise you to do if you don't have a big budget, or if you have a bigger budget, I will do a EPBA setup. So I will have an exact campaign, a phrase campaign, a broad campaign, and an auto campaign. And I will pretty much follow the same process. So I use the phrase, broad, and auto as fishing campaigns in order to find longer, and longest tail keywords that then gets added back to the exact campaign, where you can nail the bid down and be real aggressive while having control of your bleeding and profit. How you do it? You create one campaign for each match. You assign specific budget to each campaign. You keep your negative terms centralized at campaign levels, and you leverage the intelligence. You create a campaign level with the negative terms, and you expand within each campaign match with a different series of ads. A different series of ads. So let's say if you have more than 1,000 keywords, you will need 2 sets of ad groups. If you want to extrapolate very well performing terms out of one ad group and put them alone in a specific ad group, you can do it within the same campaign, keeping the intelligence and knowledge of the negative term at campaign level. If you want to test lower bid in a separate test ad group, you can do so. If you just want to run whatever test you want to run, you want to rank for a specific keyword, you want to outbid a competitor, whatever test you might want to run, it can be done simply creating an additional ad group within whatever match campaign you want, without the need of moving around and over all the negative terms. So this is why I advise you, rather than having one campaign with separate match ad groups inside, like most of managers do, I will strongly advise you to simply create one campaign per match. It's just easier to scale and manage. So this is the first step for preparing the structure. The second step, let's discuss here, what do I mean one product per set, or one product per EPBA. So there are 2 ways to go about this. Either you create one set of EPBA, I refer to this one. Either you create one set of EPBA per parent, or you can create one set of EPBA per SKU. There are pros and cons with both strategies. I personally, I'm lazy, and that's what pushed me to move toward automating, figuring a way to automate whatever I do. So what I generally do, I always start with one EPBA set per parent item. And I will include into this set, I will include all variations of this item. First stage, I will then optimize at the keyword level. So I will find what keywords bring the most traffic. I will filter out bad terms. I will add in mind the good terms, and I will dedicate the first, let's say, 3 to 6 weeks into optimizing this EPBA set toward lowering the echoes and finding what keywords work. And at that stage, when I have found a bunch of keywords that works, that bring volume, staying within my profitability, within my echoes margin, at that stage, I will look at the SKU level. And I will keep advertising for this set only the SKUs that brings you in the highest CTR. Why is that? Simply because, in my opinion, first, you should find the keywords that bring volume. And then once you find the keyword bring volume, you should let users vote with their click on the items they are most likely to click on. And you want to show your ads, or you want to show only the ads that get the most click, because if you don't get a click, you don't get a sale. So in my opinion, first stage, optimize per keyword. Second stage, optimize for CTR at the SKU level. pause all the SKUs that are not performing well a CTR basis, keep in the initial set all the SKUs that are performing with brilliant CTR, and the SKUs that you paused from the initial set, you can at this point incorporate them in their own independent sets. So you could create an additional EPBA set per SKU or per color or per size or per whatever kind of variation style you have. The important thing at this point, when you take out the SKUs from initial set and create those independent sets, is to isolate your keywords and isolate your customer search terms. So make sure that if you take out the pink t-shirt from the initial EPBI set, make sure that on the pink t-shirt EPBI set, you are bidding only on pink related keywords. This will make it extremely relevant to the SKU you're advertising, hence greatly improving the click-through rate of the new isolated SKU. Now, after discussing the proper campaign, in my opinion, what's the proper campaign setup, let's go about talking about what, in my opinion, is a proper campaign naming. Now, you can understand that if you start having 4 campaigns per product at the first stage and perhaps at the second stage, 4 campaigns per SKU, you might lose track of what you're doing. You might lose track of how to do things within all the data you have. So proper campaign naming is very, 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 very important to help you filter your data both on Seller Central, as well as if you download a Seller Central report, a customer search term report, or the bulk edit file. A proper naming will save you hundreds of hours of time. What I advise you to follow as a naming, I will tell you that each campaign name should start with a product nickname, continue so that humans can read it, continue with a product SKU so that not only humans can read it, but you also have you know what SKU is in there. For the initial one, I will say use the parent SKU. Whenever you split them out, use the variation SKU, of course. You should put the item characteristic in case of color, multipack, size, material, style in the title. Again, you're a human, so you want human to be able to read. You have a VA, he's going to be human too. So not only numbers and dates and stuff, but also stuff that humans can read. I highly advise you to follow it. And as well as the match type. Very important also the match type. So say this. Your campaign name should look something like this. Let's say that you're selling silicone spatula. You start selling all colors. The initial campaign name will be silicone spatula. Silicone is material. You might have bamboo, so it will be spatula bamboo. You might have inox metal, so spatula inox. All colors. The SKU in this case most likely the parent because it's all colors, and the match of the campaign. All right, here you have spatula, bamboo, another SKU, broad. Okay, another example is baking mat, all sizes, SKU, match type, phrase. Okay, this will be the naming at campaign level. As far as the naming advice you to follow at ad group level, I will tell you simply copy paste whatever the campaign is called and add a number here. Number 1. Whenever you go above 1,000 keywords for this campaign, for this match, you will create another ad group and you will call it baking mat, all size, SKU, phrase, number 2, and so on. This is gonna make very easy for you to search for the data and know what is what and where is what without having to open parallel windows and a lot of other wasted time and processes. Now, let's go over how I optimize my listing based on my PPC data. So first of all, what everybody should do is everybody should check the PPC data, look at the keywords, and make sure that they are indexing for all the important keywords. Important, I mean, yes, the keywords that you base your market research on, but as well as the keyword the buyers voted are the good keywords for your listing. And those votes, you can understand and look in the PPC reports. And then take those knowledge, not just check for them if they're indexed, but also improve your listing quality, leveraging that knowledge and putting those keywords in the right places in order to make your listing even more relevant for those keywords. Having a high listing quality, having a listing that is highly relevant to the keywords the users are typing will do two things. Will influence your ad positioning because your click-through rate will be better. And once you have a better click-through rate, you will also experience a lower cost per click across those optimized keywords. And then I will also say split test images and copy for conversion rate. So once you found out the keywords that are the most important for you, you made sure they're indexed, you put them in strategical places in order to make your listing quality better than your competitors and to be highly relevant to the searches. Also split test. You might have a different variation of titles, you may have a different variation of main image. Split test them with split testing tools online and find the one who brings you the best conversion rates. How to do this in the specific? So I would advise you to download the 60-day search term report from Search Central. I would say go through it and identify the 20% of the search terms that have the 80% highest conversion rates. So those are your very, very, very high conversion search terms. And also, I will tell you to identify the 20% terms that brings 80% of your sales volume. Put these two lists together and sort them by the most sales volume. All right. So right now you should have basically a list with your highest conversion rate terms and another list with a highest sales volume term. Some could be the same. Some terms will be in both lists. Some term will be only in the sales volume list. Some term will be only in the conversion rate list. So put this list together, sort by volume, descending, and pick the term, the top to bottom, and insert them in the title, in the subject matter, in the backend. And at the same time, check always for indexing. Okay, so basically, look at what your user, or not your user, your buyers voted you're relevant to, what you're making the most volume, what keyword you're making the most volume out of, and make sure they are in strategic places, which are title, in order of importance, title, subject matter, and backend keywords. After you're sure your listing has been optimized, the quality has improved, and you are much more relevant to whatever term you want to be relevant, now it's time to start to rank for some keywords. Now, something we all know is ranking is expensive. So wherever you use a launch service, either Facebook ad, Instagram, Pinterest, you hit PPC hard, I don't know what else, you hit your email list, chances are you're going to be at a loss because you're going to have highly discounted coupons. But what if I told you there is a way to pretty much know upfront 90% of the time with 90% certainty what keywords you're going to be able to easily rank for and to especially stick your ranking? There is. The answer is in PPC data. So the first step, we want to find keywords or search term which we have already a very high PPC conversion rate. Those keywords means, having a high conversion rate on PPC means that your listing or your ad is showing up at the top of a search result. It's a sponsored listing. People click on it and convert. So the chances that you have to rank for the keyword and stick the ranking, since you already know that your top positioning of ad is performing well, so the ranking will also perform very well and stick. So I would advise to find those terms. So basically, look at the search term report that we did before, identify all the term, keyword or customer search terms that have a conversion rate that is above your organic unit session percentage, increase the bid up to 50% on both terms on PPC. Now, don't take my word, don't do 50%. I say up to 50%. Chances are that if you have a very low conversion rate, sorry, not very low, if you have a very high conversion rate, so a conversion rate on PPC that is higher of your organic conversion rate, your ACOS might be quite low. So there is a lot of room of improvement, a lot of room in which you can increase your bid just to be more protective, more aggressive on that. So identify those terms. First of all, increase your bid. And second, rank them. All right, hit them very hard with ranking. Either we go back of this part here, use a launch service, use Facebook ad, but start ranking those very high conversion PPC terms, because those are gonna be very easy to rank for, and it's gonna be extremely easy to maintain your top ranking for, as well as when you add one, and then the second, and the third, and then the fourth, and when you have 10 of those long tail keywords, which you're ranking for very easily, and they are up there, they're gonna start bringing in a lot of sales velocity, which will ultimately help you for what I'm gonna show you in the next step. And the next step is simply leverage the velocity that we created in the first step, leverage the velocity that we created ranking on high PPC conversion rate terms and ranking them, leverage that asset that we just created in order to rank higher volume terms, perhaps your top keywords. So yeah, again, by now you should be top ranking for every high conversion rate term, most likely they're long terms. You should be dominating top position for sponsored ad on the same, because you're bidding harder on them. And you should have an overall higher listing quality on higher volume terms, because the first step was optimize your listing. Now is the right time to go after the higher volume terms. And this, in my experience, this is the best use of your budget. So don't go for the high volume terms first. Start with PPC, understand what your lower hanging fruits, go after ranking after them, and only after you have sustained sales volume, go after the high volume terms. So basically, how to find your high volume terms, how to pick them. So again, we go back to the search term report. I advise you to download the last 60 days of data. Identify the 20% of the terms or keywords that are bringing the 80% of the orders. Not sales, orders. We're looking after orders. Sort them by descending. CR is conversion rate. So sort them by conversion rate descending, so that you have amongst the 80% of the most volume keywords, you have up at the top, you have one with the best conversion rate. And start ranking from top to bottom. Start ranking them one by one from top to bottom. You start from first one, you rank it to top 5 positions, you achieve a ranking, give it 1 week, see if the ranking sticks. If it sticks after 1 week, it's gonna stay there because we prepared for this in the previous steps. And then you move to the next keyword. As an optional, this is a little bit more difficult. Most likely high volume terms are very close to your maximum ACOS threshold. So you might not have much room for increasing bids on those. But if you do have room for increasing bids on your high volume terms, go ahead and do that. All right. So do this only if the conversion rate of those terms and the ACOS allows you to. Word of caution: choose, especially in this second step, choose your terms, choose your keywords wisely. If that term, that keyword is experiencing a bad conversion rate, there's a very high likelihood that yes, you can rank it, you run a push, you're ranking in top position, but it might not stick. If you're having a poor conversion on PPC, you most likely will have a poor conversion organically on this term, so you will not stick. So choose your term very wisely. And if you're experiencing a poor conversion rate on a PPC term that you know is relevant, the issue could be into your listing, into your copywriting. So troubleshoot first the conversion rate, go back a few steps back, look at your listing, improve your listing, improve the conversion rate of a specific term, and only when you have a favorable conversion rate, a good conversion rate, go for the kill and go for the ranking. Okay, so let's move to slide 7. Okay, so far we've been through how to properly structure your campaign and ad group sets, how to, in my opinion, properly structure and troubleshoot if you have variation or parent, what to start with and how to follow up, how to maintain. We went through how to build a better listing based on the data that PPC will bring you, and we went through how to pick the right keyword to rank for, knowing that you will rank for them and you will not waste money on them. At this point, you should have a fairly optimized listing. You should have a fairly optimized campaign structure. How to maintain it? I have a few weekly maintenance points that I still now I do. We have a tool doing for us automatic, but that's pretty much the gist of it. So what you want to do, you want to remember when I mentioned initially about fishing out of the auto, the broad, and the phrase matches. So we call it mining. So you want to look at your report and you want to find customer search terms from the broad match, from the phrase match, and from the auto campaigns, which have generated sales and that are sales within your EcoStress, so within your profitability margin, and that are relevant to your product. And what you want to do, you want to, of course, make sure they're relevant, and you want to add them back into your EPBA sets. Of course, you cannot add a keyword back to the auto. That's why you see here only the EPB. So you will add them in the exact campaign as exact, in the phrase campaign as phrase, in the broad campaign as broad. And do not forget to isolate the match, isolate the terms, which means you want to negate the exact match at phrase level because we are bidding already on it in the exact match, as well as you want to negate the phrase match from the broad because again, we are bidding on a phrase at phrase level. All right, this means isolating. So the first weekly task is to mine terms. So look at your customer service report, find terms that have been converting within your threshold and add them back as keywords in the different matches so that they get to work for you, finding even longer terms and keywords. But at the same time, you want to also terminate, you want to negate those terms who have not been performing. So again, we still look at the 60-day search term report. We find search terms that have not converted. That have not converted after a certain amount of clicks, which you decide, depends on what conversion rate you expect from them, that have converted but at too high ACOS, or that have spent a lot of money without a conversion. All those terms are terminate material or negation material, and you find those. And what you should do, you should add them as negative exact, negative E in APB. So you add them as negative exact in the auto, the phrase, and the broad campaign. Never negate in the exact campaign. The exact campaign, you have 100% control of what you do. So there is no need to negate within an exact campaign. You simply pause the keyword, pause the term, and you're done. So do not negate. There's really no need to negate in exact campaigns. Additionally, depending on your budget, if you find relevant terms that have not been performing well, but you know that are relevant, you might want to take them out and test them as exact bid with a lower adjusted bid. And you can use the conversion rate and the target ACOS to understand what an adjusted, what a best bid is. And I will cover the best bid equation that we use in our business later in another slide. So we cover the weekly maintenance on the customer search term side, which is done from the reports. And now as far as weekly maintenance for the keywords, the main thing you will do at keyword level will be pause action. So you look at keywords with excessive ACOS, keyword with excessive spend and zero sales, and you pause them. Optional, I don't do much of this, but you might want to maintain a conversion rate that is high. So if you see a keyword that is a very high ACOS, but still within your margins, and a very low conversion rate, that could mean that the keyword is not relevant. So you might want to pause that one too. So the first action is pausing. The second action I advise you to do is re-enabling. So there is a 7-day, most of you guys will be aware, there is a 7-day conversion window in Seller Central on Amazon, meaning that if you pay for a click today and Seller Central tells you that you have 0 sales today, it's just a spend, right? But that click you paid today for might register a sale up to 7 days in the future. All right, so this is to say that if you look at a keyword over here and that triggers a pause action simply because you have a very high ACOS and you pause it, in 7 days time, that keyword might have registered new sales and moved toward a favorable ACOS. So you always want to check also your pause keywords and re-enable any keyword that registered a sale, a delayed sale, and moved within your favorable ACOS threshold. That's in my opinion is a must. Is a lot of people forget about this step, so they just pause a keyword because of bad ACOS, and that's it. They never check it back, and they miss out on many sales like that, many profitable sales. All right. So for keyword that good is and good CR, test higher bid. Yes. So for keywords that have a favorable ACOS and also a good conversion rate, you might want to test a higher bid. And I will show you again later the formula. And for keywords that have been paused for a while, so that have been paused outside this famous 7 days conversion window, and for which you have sales, so you have ACOS data, you might want to test, so create an additional test ad group and test those keywords at a lower bid. A bid based on a calculation given by the conversion rate and your ACOS goal, which again, spoiler, I'm going to cover later. Yes, so this is pretty much the two-step maintenance, mainly that I advise you to do weekly. As a monthly basis, I will go and rinse and repeat slide 4 to 6. So again, look at the customer short-term and keyword reports, look again at the best conversion rate terms, at the best sales volume terms, and feed them back into the listing. Make sure I'm relevant, make sure I'm indexed for those. And if I'm not ranking, if I find some new terms which are killer terms, go and hit them out and rank, okay? Yes, this is in preparation for Q4. But as I say here, product positioning is key on Amazon. So this is stuff that you can start to do now in order to get ready and well positioned for Q4. But now that you know what to do, you should work for it always, not just for Q4. This is stuff that can be done all year round, especially now because you gotta get ready for Q4. But since you know that this needs to be done, get someone on your staff doing this weekly, monthly, and you will see how much growth you're gonna bring to your business. All right, so how does it feel to dominate? If you follow my advice by now, and if you follow my advice, and if you have a good product, because again, that's a key component which I did not discuss, but you gotta have a good product. So if you follow my advice and you have a good product, right now you should be top ranking for most of your short and long tail keywords. You should be winning, profitably winning, I should say, top ad positioning for most of your keywords, both short and long term, and you should be experiencing great organic sales and profit. So you should be dominating the above the fold search page on Amazon. And this is a fantastic position to be because it allows you not anymore to be, just to defend your position rather than attack somebody else. So you don't need anymore to be proactive in chasing a ranking. You just need to be reactive in protecting your ranking. What I mean is, you got to remember that it takes only one sales more than the guy below you to stay at the top. All right, so you're already moving a lot of volume just because you're dominating page one, both on PPC and on organic. If you see some competitor coming in hard, you will see your average cost per click going up, and you know it's coming. You just up your bids. You will see his BSR going up, and you know it's coming. So what you simply need to do, rather than doing a full launch in order to rank for your keyword, you simply need to make a mini launch or a mini Facebook Messenger, Facebook bot, Facebook promotion, just to sell a few more than what you normally do. And as long as you do that, as long as you keep track of what the competitor below you are doing, and you just make sure that you oversell them of one, you're gonna stay at the top and you're gonna keep dominating. And ideally, you want to keep doing this all the way through December from now. Now let's go a little bit more. Let's dive in a little bit on what do I personally advise you guys, what do I do, and what I advise you to do about bids and budgets. Now, you probably experienced already for Prime Day. What Amazon does goes around sending like emails to everybody telling, oh, what you should do, guys, you should like 2x your bids because blah, 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 blah. Man, guess what? It's like a casino. Amazon is the house. Amazon's going to always win. Of course, we're going to go and tell everybody to double their bids. Why? Because they're creating bidding wars. They have everything, nothing to lose on doing so. Only you, the seller, has something to lose because you follow Amazon advice. You're going to just bid double. The guy next to you is going to bid double. The guy next to him is going to bid double. So at the end of the day, you're going to pay double. You're going to eat into your profit. You're going to lose, and Amazon is going to win and make more money. That's why they do it. So upping your bids, in my opinion, doesn't always make sense. Sometimes, like I covered before, but again, doesn't always make sense. And the reasoning is, what's the point, guys, to enter Q4 being able to have a chance to sell 3x your normal volume, 3x your average months, if you make zero profit out of it? There's really no reason. So yes, you want to sell 3x, but you also want to maintain your profit margin. Otherwise, fuck it, I'm going to just sell 1x. I'm going to stay where I was. I make more money than selling 3x at zero profit. So there is a concept that we use in our business. It's a very quick rule of thumb in order to identify what the best bid should be for any search term, either profitable or unprofitable. And it's a very, very simple concept. So it's sales price multiplied by your target ACOS percentage, which gives you the dollar amount, the maximum dollar amount you're willing to spend for a sale. All right, so sales price, product sales price multiplied by your target ACOS. And target ACOS, we can be hour talking about it, but as a target ACOS, your maximum target ACOS should be your profit margin. And then you take the maximum amount of dollar you want to spend for a sale and you multiply it by your conversion rate percentage. That gives you a number, and that number is the best bid for that keyword. The best bid will always change. So you're going to run the best bid on a keyword now. You will adjust the bid with the new best bid, and you will see that what happens, the conversion rate will change. The conversion rate highly fluctuates depending on where you're positioning. In my experience, the top position have a lower click-through rate, conversion rate, and the bottom position on second page, third page position, they have a much better conversion rate. So again, the best bid is an ever-moving target, but you can use it in order to refresh, recycle keywords or search terms that have been paused or negated because the ACOS was very high. You can again create a test ad group in whatever match you want. I would advise you to do it in the exact match and test those keywords or search terms that have been posed or negated for bad ACOs with a best bid concept. Calculate in this way and see how they behave. That's about bids. As far as budget goes, I mean, I never want to run out of budget, so I would say go nuts with budget. If you guys have a good product and if you follow through so far, you should have a pretty lean and efficient setup on the PPC side, as well as a pretty good ranking. So a lot of volume and profit coming from your organic ranking. So what I'm going to ask you is, as long as you put $1 into PPC and you get out 1.1, why would you limit it? All right, so that's what I'm saying. You can optimize it, but as long as I put 1 and take out more than 1, why would you limit it? So go as hard as you can with budget. If you run out of budget and the campaign is behaving properly, add more budget. Don't worry. I personally go 10x normally for Christmas, or I mean, I have crazy numbers. Just I don't want to run out of budget. A note over here: if you guys do have a limited budget and you want to stick to your limited budget, I would highly advise you to manually pause and enable your budget and have your campaigns running between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. because this is where most of the sales action happen. Any click that is outside, that is between the 10 p.m. and the 8 a.m. time is generally a click that doesn't really have much buyer intent.
Actually, I have a question. So the West and East Coast, if we are talking about US market, has a 3-hour difference. So if we would start 8 a.m. Pacific Coast, it's already 11 Eastern. So we should start 5 a.m. Pacific and finish.
My answer is I will base this on the reports that I see on Amazon. I've been looking at my account and at several hundreds, not thousands yet, I mean hundreds of our user accounts, and the trend is that on PSD, so on Seattle time, the most sales happen between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. So I would, answering you, I would use 8 a.m., 10 p.m. Seattle time.
Okay.
Okay, bits and budget, campaigns. So aside the bid and budget on your setup, which I explained you earlier, what you could do and what we do in our business is create a specific set of campaign, which we call the catch-all campaign, which is a concept that Amazon introduced actually, and I modified slightly. But basically, we take a broad match campaign, we create a broad match ad group, an ad group within this broad match campaign, we put all our catalog inside that campaign, that ad group. I create one of those for each big date. One for Thanksgiving, one for Black Friday, one for Cyber Monday. And each of those campaigns and ad group will have keywords specific to that time of the year. So the Thanksgiving catch-all broad match campaign will have all the keywords that we learned have worked in Thanksgiving. The same we'll do for Black Friday, the same we will do for Cyber Monday, and then we're gonna have a longer one throughout Christmas period, which I forgot to mention here. But yes, we're gonna have also a Christmas one that we generally launch on the 5th of December and keep running until the 19th of December. Yes, that's a typo, I will fix it. So what we do, we turn them on 24 hours before the big date, because that's generally when people start looking around. They get ready to the big date because Amazon does an incredible job in marketing big dates. So shoppers generally go out and about and look for, what I'm gonna buy on the Lightning deal. And they put them in their cart, ready to snatch the Lightning deal when it comes live. Yes, so as far as the keywords, You can research. There are so many research tools out there. I wouldn't know what to tell you to use. Probably use them all and make a huge list. Word of caution over here, the conversion we've seen on these broad match keywords is pretty low because you're bidding on stuff like Black Friday gift. Perhaps you're selling a silicone spatula, somebody will buy, but a very small amount of people that click through will buy, or just curious people. So at least in our experience, the conversion rate was very low, around 5%, sometimes lower, sometimes slightly higher, but again, will be low. So keep this in mind when deciding how to bid on those words. Again, down here I put again what we use for our best bid. So sales price per target takers multiplied by conversion rate. And that's the bid we generally start with and then adjust over time. I think that we do, but also you could do, is whatever terms you find are relevant to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Thanksgiving, and those terms that you're bidding within this set of campaigns, I will highly advise you to negate phrase match out of your current setup, because the bid that you're using for this specific set of Q4 campaigns is going to be lower than the bid that you're using on your normal set of campaigns, and you do not want Amazon to overbid you on these terms that convert purely. So definitely, if you're bidding on them on these Q4 campaigns, go ahead and negate them out of your normal set of campaigns, EPBA set of campaigns that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, bonus one. This is not really related to PPC, but definitely go ahead and apply for Lightning deals. Apply for as many as you can possibly get. Remember to plan your inventory wisely. So you don't want to apply for Lightning deals, win the Lightning deals, get the Lightning deals, and then run out of inventory. That will be very, very, very wrong. But definitely go ahead and apply for as many as you can. In my opinion, in my experience, the price is worth what you gain. And because Lightning deals will go on for this period, which is Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday, if you are taking a deal, if you're on the lead of your niche and you're taking the Lightning deals, you will consolidate your ranking and stick it throughout December. How do I go about doing this? I normally right-click and open the same deal in 7 different tabs, and then I submit all the tabs at once. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. Amazon say you can't. I mean, I still do it. Again, sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. And I do this for all my products, and even a SKU level sometimes it's possible. And simply, after Amazon tells me exactly when the deal will go live, I simply cancel the one I don't like, because I have so many I can choose from. I simply cancel the trash one. I cancel the one that goes through that happens during the night. And I generally keep the one that are happening between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m., which is the prime time of when everybody will buy. Yes, so I covered pretty much all the bullets over here. Bonus 2, something that has been working very good for us as well, set up coupons. Coupons, I mean the stuff that you see on this link over here. We've seen the coupons improve a lot our click-through rate as well as our conversion rate, because we're actually giving a discount on our products. So the click-through rate wise improved, because both on organic and PPC, because the coupon, they show up, you see the sponsored, they show up over here. So when you have coupons going, they will show up on PPC, they will show up on the ads, and if your competitors are not having coupons, you have more chance to get the click. And once on your listing, people can use the coupon, will have a discount compared to this price. So they have a better conversion rate. You might test rising the price. So let's say that if you're offering a $5 coupon, you might want to increase your price of $3 or something like this. But again, run a lot of tests, see what formula coupons works for you. if it works offering a $2 coupon off, or if you rather to use a 10 coupon off and raise your price to $5. It depends, test. But again, why do I use them? Because you get definitely an improvement on CTR, and if you have a good product, a good listing, which we cover how to get a good listing earlier, you will also experience a very good conversion rate, which will eventually help anyways on PPC and getting you cheaper clicks. And the last bonus, gift lists. If this is your first Q4, you might not know, but there is a huge business going around the holiday gift blogs, magazine, email contests. I would advise you to, Google is your friend in this, so I would advise you to Google them and find them out, Facebook group, bloggers, and be on as many holiday gifts communications as possible, because this will improve your brand awareness and will improve the amount, will increase the amount of people who will be looking specifically for your brand/product on Amazon throughout Q4. When people look specifically for your brand and product, you will have a better conversion rate. And of course, you will also have a better CTR. Again, improving your organic ranking, improve your velocity, and helping on PPC and how much you're paying for clicks. I found out that there is a resource that I use, is Haro, Help a Reporter Out, and the site is helpareporter.com. You just sign up, you receive a weekly newsletter of reporters, of people looking for content. And oftentimes you see also people looking for gift publication content, and you just answer them back and you tell, oh, I have a product, blah, 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 blah. Can I participate in your gift publication? And sometimes you gotta pay money, some other time it's free. But again, this is something we tested over the years and we keep doing. So it's something we like and we keep doing, and it works for us. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I hope my accent was not too bad, and I hope I didn't eat too many of my words.